The differentiation rules. How do we find derivatives? Ito yung question niyan. The procedure for finding the exact derivative directly from a formula of the function without having to use graphical methods is called differential calculus. In practice, we use some rules that tell us how to find the derivative of almost any function. In this lesson, we will introduce these rules. Okay, differentiating constant functions. The graph of a constant function is a horizontal line, and a horizontal line has a zero slope. The derivative measures that the slope of the tangent, and so the derivative is zero. Rule 1, the constant rule. If the f of x is equals to c, where c is a constant, then the derivative of f prime of x is equals to 0. The derivative of a constant is equal to 0. Okay? So, yun ang importante dito at constant rule. The derivative of a constant is equal to 0. Kung ano man yung constant na yan, 0 lang yan pag kinuha mo ang derivative. Okay, so ano ang proof natin nun? We are going to prove using the definition of derivatives. So, f prime of x is equals to the limit of f of x plus h minus f of x all over 0, where x or where h approaching 0. Then, we use c for a constant. So, yung f of x plus h natin ay constant. Then, yung f of x din natin ay constant. So, c minus c is 0. Okay? Therefore, limit of a 0 is also 0. Kasi constant nga yung 0. So, ang limit ng 0 ay 0 pa rin. Okay? Bigyan tayo ng example. Number 1. If f of x is 17 and 17 is a constant, therefore, yung kanyang derivative, 0. Okay? Letter B, if g of x is equal to negative square root of 5, again, negative of square root of 5 is also a constant. Therefore, the g prime of x is also 0. And the last, if h of x is equal to 3 pi, and 3 pi is a constant, then the derivative of h of x is also 0. Differentiating power functions. A function of the form f of x is equal to x to the r, where r is a real number, is called a power function. Below are some examples of the power functions. So, ito yung mga power functions natin. F of x is equal to x, kasi ang kanyang power ay 1. G of x, x squared, ang kanyang power ay 2. H of x equals square root of x, ang kanyang power ay 1/2. Kasi square root of x or square root is the same as rational exponent 1/2. P of x is equals to 4th root of x, so ang kanyang power ay 1/4. L of x is x to negative 5, so ang power niya negative 5. S of x is equals to 1/8 or x to the 8, or x is equals to negative 8. So lahat na nakikita nyo, ito yung mga tinatawag nating power function. Rule number 2, the power rule. Okay, tingnan muna natin kapag ang ating power ay n, and n is an element of natural number. Okay, let's say if f of x is equals to x to the n, where n is an element of natural number, ang mga natural number ay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Then, if we're going to get the derivatives of f of x, f prime of x, it is equals to nx n minus 1. Tingnan mo, obserbahan mo ang ginagawa sa kanyang exponent. Minus 1 sa exponent, then yung original na exponent niya ay bababa lang, magiging coefficient ng x. Di ba mas madali yon yung ganong rule? Hindi ka na pupunta sa definition of derivatives, kundi yung power rule lang gamitin mo, mas madali mo na makukuha yung kanyang derivative. Okay, obserbahan natin sa example 2. F of x is equals to x cubed. So, ang ating exponent ay natural number 3. So, pag kinuha ang kanyang derivative, ano nangyari doon sa 3? bababa lang yung 3, magiging coefficient. Ayun na siya, bumaba siya. So, nagkaroon ng 3x. Then, bawasan mo na isa yung exponent. So, 3 minus 1 is 2. So, ito na ngayon yung kanyang derivative. Okay, so magbigay pa tayo ng isang example na ang n ay natural number. Bago tayo pumunta dito sa letter B. Okay, let's say ang y natin ay equals sa x. So, ano ang kanyang derivative? Y is equals to x, then what is the derivative of y? So, ang derivative ng y, di ba meron siyang exponent na 1? So, ibababa natin yung 1. Then, bawasan natin ng 1 uli. So, 1 minus 1 is 0. So, x to the 0. Diba? So, ang 1, x to the 0, x to the 0 is 1. So, 1 times 1, 1. Okay? So, ang derivative ng y equals x is 1. Okay? So, bigay pa tayo ng isa pa. What is the derivative of y equals x raised to 6? Okay. So, pag kinuha mo ang derivative niyan, ibababa mo lang yung 6, magiging coefficient ng x. So, magiging 6x. Then, bawasan mo lang ng isa, yung 6 minus 1. Matik na yun, nandun na yun sa rule. Lagi minus 1. So, 6 minus 1. So, magiging 5 ngayon yung kanyang exponent. Ayan, nakuha mo na yung derivative. So, anong derivative ng ating function? 6x to the 5. Okay. So, continue. Remark number 1. Observe that the statement of the power rule restricts with the exponent to be a natural number. Ito yung rule 2 natin dito, no? However, this formula holds true for even for exponents are element of real number. Okay? So, hindi lang sa natural number pwede gawin yun, ha? Pwede rin sa real number. Let's say, we have a given function f of x equals to x to the r. Kapag kinuha natin yung derivative nito, magiging f prime of x equals to rx r minus 1. So, ganun din ang konsepto, di ba? Ibababa mo lang yung exponent, then minus 1 sa exponent for all r element of real number. So, kung sa natural, pwedeng mangyari yon na exponent natural. Pwede rin mangyari yon sa lahat ng real number exponent. Gaya ng nasa letter B natin. Okay, next, rule number 2, the power rule. Find the g prime of x where g of x is equals to 1 over x squared. So let first rearrange the function of g of x where it is equals to 1 over x squared, and it is also true with x raised to the negative 2. Then, kapag ginawa natin yung kanyang derivative, so g prime of x, ang kanyang exponent na negative 2 ay magiging coefficient ng x. Then, yung negative 2 minus 1. So, negative 2x raised to negative 2 minus 1. So, we have negative 2x raised to negative 3. Or, pwede rin siyang rearrange natin with negative 2 over x cubed. Next, letter C. If h of x is equals to square root of x, then we can write as h of x is equal to x raised to 1/2. So we have the derivative of h of x is equals to 1/2 x raised to 1/2 minus 1. So yung coefficient na 1/2, yung exponent na 1/2 magiging coefficient ng x. Then 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. So we have 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2. Or pwede mo rin naman gawing 1/2 square root of x. Kasi itong x raised to negative 1/2, pwede siyang maging denominator as 1/2 x raised to 1/2. Or yung x raised to 1/2, pwede rin naman siyang maging square root of x. Next, letter D. If we have the function p of x equals to x raised to negative pi, then the derivative of p prime of x is equals to negative pi x raised to negative pi minus 1. Okay. Okay, next rule number 3, the constant multiple rule. If a function f of x is equals to c times the h of x, where c is a constant, then the derivative of f of x is equals to c times the derivative of h of x. Example, find the derivatives of the following functions. For letter A, we have the f of x equals 5x raised to 3/4, and letter B is the g of x is equals to 1/3 cube root of x, and letter C, h of x is equals to negative square root of 3x. Then for solution of letter A, the derivative of the f of x is equals to 5 times the derivative of x raised to 3/4, and the derivative of that is 3/4 x to the 3/4 minus 1. So, sundin lang natin yung ating rule number 2. So, ngayon, kag minultiply natin yung 5 by 3/4, yung kanilang coefficient, so magiging 15/4, then 3/4 minus 1 is negative 1/4. So, therefore, the derivative of A, or the f of x, is 15/4x raised to negative 1/4. Next, letter B. The derivative of g prime of x equals to, so ang magiging new expression ngayon ng ating g of x ay 1/3 x raised to positive 1/3. So ang exponent ng x ay 1/3 din. So kaya nangyari, magiging product din siya with 1/3. So kaya nagkaroon 1/3 times 1/3 x raised to 1/3 minus 1. Okay, so ang 1/3 times 1/3 ay 1/9. Then, ang 1/3, yung exponent naman, 1/3 minus 1 ay negative 2/3. Okay, so kaya magiging sagot natin, 1/9 x raised to negative 2/3. And for letter C, h of x is equals to negative square root of 3x. Then, ang kanyang derivative ngayon ay magiging h prime of x is equals to negative square root of 3x, since ang exponent ng x ay 1. So, kahit yan ay ibaba mo, product with negative 3x, square root of 3, with negative square root of 3, ganun din ang lalabas. Identity lang with negative square root of 3. Then, 1 minus 1 is x to 0. So, kapag ang x raised to 0, and that is equivalent to 1. So, therefore, 1 times negative square root of 3 is negative square root of 3. Okay. Okay, next, rule number 4. The sum rule. It is under the differentiating sums and differences of functions. If f of x is equals to the g of x plus h of x, where g and x are differentiable functions, then the derivative of f of x, which is f prime of x, is equals to the derivative of g of x and plus the derivative of h of x. Okay, example number 4. Let us refer to example 3 above and as perform the following. So, yung ating example 3 ay ang mga sumusunod. A, we have the derivative of f of x, which is 15 over 4x raised to negative 1/4. And letter B is the g prime of x, which is 1 over 9x raised to negative 2/3. And letter C, h prime of x, which is equals to the negative square root of 3. Let us find the or differentiate the following. First I, f of x plus g of x. Second I, the g of x plus h of x. And the third I, as the f of x plus h of x. Okay, so for letter A, we have f of x plus the g of x. So to find the sum of the two functions, f of x plus g of x is equals to f prime of x plus g prime of x. So we have the expression. So 15 over 4 plus 15 over 4 x raised to negative 1/4 plus 1 over 9 x raised to negative 2/3. That's the derivative of f of x and g of x. Next, okay, differentiate g of x plus h of x. So ang ating solution ngayon doon ay g of x plus h of x equals to g prime of x plus h prime of x. And the g prime of x is 1 over 9x raised to negative 2/3 plus the derivative ng h prime of x is negative square root of 3. So, pwede natin siya i-simplify as 1 over 9 cube root of x square cube root. 3 ang index natin. Then x square minus square root of 3. Okay? So, itong part na to ay cube root ito. Ayusin lang natin. So, ito ay cube root of x square. Ayan. Okay? Okay? So, that is second I. Next, third I. The sum of f of x plus h of x. Then, the solution f of x plus h of x is equals to the derivative of f of x plus the derivative of h of x. So, we have 10 over 4x raised to negative 1/4 plus negative square root of x. Or pwede na rin natin gawin siyang 15 over 4 fourth root of x. So, ang index niya ay 4 tapos x, then minus square root of 3. Okay? And that's it. Okay, again, continuation of differentiating sums and difference of the functions. Sample number 4, use rules number 3 and 4 to differentiate the following. Letter A, f of x equals to 5x raised to 3/4, and letter B, g of x equals to 1/3 cube root of x, and letter C, h of x equals to negative square root of 3x. Okay, so we are going to find the difference of the following. Let's start with first I, the f of x minus g of x. So, sa letter I, kukuhaan lang natin yung difference ng f of x minus g of x. So, ang mangyayari dyan ay f prime of x minus g prime of x. and it is equal to, so equal ngayon yan sa ang f of x natin ay, pag kinuha natin ang derivative niya, magiging 15 over 4 tapos x raised to 3/4 minus 1 negative 1/4. Okay. Then minus g prime of x. Ito ang ating g of x. So minus, so ito ay pwede siyang maging the same as 1/3 x raised to 1/3. Okay. Kaya ang mangyayari 1/3 times 1/3, 1/9 x 1/3 minus 1 is negative 2/3. Okay? So, yun yung ating first I. Next, second I. So, sa second I, pag kinuha natin yung kanyang difference na g of x minus h of x, magiging g prime of x minus h prime of x. Okay? So, kuha natin ang g prime of x. Meron na tayo nun. Ito na yung ating g prime of x. Rewrite na lang natin. So, gawin natin 1/9 x raised to negative 2/3 minus ang derivative naman ng h of x. Ito ang h of x natin. Pag kinuha ang derivative niya, so magiging negative square root of 3. Okay, so fix na natin. So, ang final answer natin is 1/9 x raised to negative 2/3. So, negative of negative square root of 3 magiging positive. So, plus square root of 3. Okay? And that's it. Ito yung ating second I. Next, third I. So, the difference of f of x minus h of x. Difference of f of x minus h of x. So, para makuha natin yan, kuhanin lang natin ang f prime of x minus h prime of x. Okay, so meron na tayong f prime of x. Ito yung ating sa letter A kanina. So, 15 over 4 x raised to negative 1/4. Then minus, meron rin tayong h of x or h prime of x. Minus, yun yung negative square root of 3. So, negative square root of 3. Okay, so ayusin lang natin. So, final na natin. So, magiging sagot natin ay 15/4 x raised to negative 1/4 plus negative of negative square root of 3. So, magiging plus square root of 3. Okay, and that's it. Rule number 5, the product rule. If f and g are differentiable functions, then the derivative of f of x times g of x is equals to f of x times g prime of x plus g of x times f prime of x. Rule number 5 states that the derivative of the product of two differentiable functions is the first function times the derivative of the second function plus the second function times the derivative of the first function. The derivative of the product is not the product of their derivatives. Indeed, if we have f of x equals to x squared and the g of x is equals to x cubed, then the derivative of f of x equals g of x is equals to, let's say, we're going to find the product of the two functions. So x squared and x cubed. So we have the derivative of x squared times x cubed, and it will become the derivative of x to the 5. And the derivative of x to the 5 is 5x to the 4. Okay? So ano mangyayari? D of x or derivative of f of x times derivative of g of x will become the derivative of x squared times the derivative of x cubed is derivative of x squared is 2x and the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. Then the product of the two, 6x cubed. Clearly, 5x to the 4 is not equal to 6x cubed. And therefore, the derivative of f of x times g of x is not equal to the derivative of f of x times derivative of g of x. Okay, example number 5. Find the f prime of x if a given f of x is equals to the product of quantity 3x minus 2 and x squared plus 4x. So meron tayong product of two functions. Yung isa ay 3x minus 2. Then pag kinuha natin ang derivative nito, kasi kinuha natin ang kanyang derivative. So ang magiging sagot natin ay 3. Okay, ito kasi ay 0 na ito eh. So 3 na lang. Then yung isa pang function, yung x square plus 4x. Pag kinuha natin ang kanyang derivative, kukuha natin ang kanyang derivative. So, derivative of x square. So, ang magiging sagot natin doon ay 2x plus 4. Then, gamitin natin yon yung definition na yon. So, pag kinuha natin yon ay magiging solution. Okay, so f prime of x equals to a given function 3x minus 2 times the derivative of x squared plus 4x plus a function x squared plus 4x times the derivative of 3x minus 2. So, nakuha na natin yung derivative ng 3x minus 2 at yung derivative ng x squared plus 4x. So, pwede natin gamitin dito. So, 3x minus derivative ng x squared plus 4x, yan ay 2x plus 4. Then, x squared plus 4x derivative ng 3x minus 2 ay 3. Okay? So, 3x minus 2. Okay? Then, pwede natin siyang manipulate. Kuhanin lang natin yung 3x. I-apply natin yung distributive property. Yan. Okay? Then, sa kabila din, distribute natin yung 3. Okay, so we have the given result. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times positive 4 is positive 12x. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Kabila naman, 3 times x squared is 3x squared positive. 3 times positive 4x is positive 12x. Then pagsamahin natin yung similar term. Katulad ng 6x squared at 3x squared. Yung 12x, negative 4x, at yung isa pang 12x. Then yung walang similar ay remain. So we have the result. So 6x squared and 3x squared is 9x squared. Magiging ano to, 8x plus 12x, 20x. Then bring down negative 8. Okay, so ito ngayon yung ating final answer. And that's it. Okay, example B of product rule. Find the g prime of x if a given g of x equals the square root of x times the x squared minus 4x plus 1. So by definition, we have the g prime of x. Ano to? G prime of x ito. Kasi yun ang ating target eh. So g prime of x equals a given function, square root of x, also the same as x raised to 1/2 times the derivative of x squared minus 4x plus 1, then plus function x squared minus 4x plus 1, then derivative of x raised to 1/2. So, ang derivative nitong quadratic na ito ay 2x minus 4. Then, ang derivative naman itong square root expression ay magiging derivative nito ay 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2. Okay, so ituloy natin yan since meron na tayong mga derivatives. So, x raised to 1/2, ang derivative natin times 2x minus 4 plus given quadratic x squared minus 4x plus 1, then derivative, nakuha natin 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2. Then, i-distribute na natin itong x raised to 1/2. Then, ganun din ang 1/2 x raised to negative 1, distribute na rin natin. Okay. So, meron na tayo ngayong new result. And that is 2x, 1/2 plus 1 is 3 raised to 3 halves minus 4x raised to 1/2. Then, dito naman, sa 1/2 x squared, exponent 2 minus 1/2 is 3 halves. Yun ngayon na magiging exponent ito. Next, negative 4 times 1/2 is negative 2. X to the 1 minus 1/2 is positive 1/2. Yung kanyang exponent. Thus, identity lang naman. So, 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2. Then, pwede natin pagsamahan yan similar. So, ito ay similar. Yung kanyang exponent, 3 halves. At yung isa pang similar ay negative 4x raised to 1/2. At yung negative 2x raised to 1/2. Then ito, bring down na lang itong last term. Okay, so ang final result natin ay 2 plus 1/2 is 5/2 x raised to 3/4. Negative 6 or negative 4 and negative 2 is negative 6x raised to 1/2. Then bring down 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2. And that's it. Ito na ngayon yung ating sagot. Okay, next, differentiating quotients of two functions. Rule number 6, the quotient rule. Let the f of x and g of x be two differentiable functions with g of x not 0. Then the derivative of f of x over g of x is equals to a function g of x times the derivative of f of x or f prime of x minus a function f of x times the derivative of g of x or g prime of x all over a function g of x square. The rule above states that the derivative of two quotient of two functions is the fraction having as its denominator the square of the original denominator and as its numerator the denominator times the derivative of the numerator minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator. Okay, let's try an example for this rule. Let the given function h of x is equals to 5x minus 3 over x squared plus 1. We're going to compute the f prime of x or the derivative of a function h of x. So let's try the a function as yung f or yung p of x, px minus 3 natin, gawin natin siyang f of x. Okay? At yung atin namang denominator ay gawin naman natin siyang g of x. So, kuha na natin siya ng derivative per numerator and denominator. So, yung f of x, 5x minus 3, ang derivative nun ay 5. At yung denominator naman natin x squared plus 1, ang derivative naman nun ay 2x. Then, i-apply natin yung definition. Thus, the f prime of x is equals to g of x times f prime of x minus f of x times g prime of x all over g of x squared. So, given function g of x squared plus 1, derivative ng f of x ay 5 minus f of x, 5x minus 3, derivative naman ng g of x ay 2x all over g of x, x squared plus 1 square. Then, i-distribute na natin yung 5 with x squared at yung 5 sa 1. Ganun din, i-distribute na natin ang 2x sa 5x at yung 2x sa negative 3. Then, yung x squared plus 1, squared mo na rin yun. So, meron tayong 5x squared plus 5 minus 10x squared minus 6x. Then, yung denominator naman ay x squared square, x to the 4, 2 times x squared times 1, 2x squared, 1 squared is 1. Okay, so, yung similar pagsamahin natin, gaya na 5x squared and 10x squared, positive 5 wala naman, at yung negative 6 wala rin naman. So, bring down na natin 5 plus 6x minus 5x squared minus 10x squared is negative 5x squared all over x to the 4 plus 2x squared plus 1. And that's it.